All right, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the MVP trophy. Thunder, the only franchise to have 3 different MVPs since the franchise moved to OKC. What do we have here? A little virtual. Shai goes 6 for 9 from the floor in the first half, 19 points. That step back looked exactly like what he did. Okay. They had an 8-point lead at the half. Big late flurry to grab the 8-point lead, and then, as they did in game 1, just go berserk in the third quarter. All manner of moves, never in a hurry, always on his own time. What did Michael Malone say about the whistle? Favorable. Favorable. All right. And then another little mid-range jump. His 5th consecutive 30-point game, tying him for the longest streak in the history of the franchise. Into the fourth quarter, Minnesota did fight to make it at least within earshot. This was a nice little move, finding a clear lane to take the jumper, and the lead goes back to 15, and then it's nastiness down the lane. Ties his career playoff high with 38. They win by 15. The MVP. Get some thoughts after the victory.
Yeah, early I just wanted to lean on my teammates. Like, I thought about like coming out and like forcing the first couple shots, but I was like, nah, it's probably not the way to go. I wanted to just let the game come to me. Like I said, lean on my teammates, play through them, play off of them. I think my first basket was like a back cut from Hart. So like I just didn't want to force the issue, let the game come to me. And then yeah, I'm pleased with the way we guarded tonight. We held them to 100 points, I think, and obviously they're a really good offense. So yeah, we did the job defensively.
Andrew Schleck with The Athletic. J-Dub had 11 in the fourth quarter. You know, what did you see from him offensively and defensively tonight?
Yeah, stepping into his own, being confident, making big-time plays. I think we had like they were coming back into the lead, and they had like a fast break. He got a steal and then an and one. That was like a huge play for the last couple of minutes. He's just coming into his own. And I knew this would happen. He's a great player, works hard, does the right things, and when you do that, good things happen for you.
It was about 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. You had 8 points, and then you went like a little bit of a run at the end. You had like an assist, a fadeaway over even Shinzo, a 3, a couple of free throws. You had like 11 points in like the last 4.5 minutes. Was that conscious where you saw something or you felt like you want to be more assertive or whatever, help you guys get an 8-point lead?
Yeah, not at all. I honestly just was out there playing basketball, try to be aggressive, take my spots, try to make the right play. That's all that was. It wasn't intentional at all. Just try to close the half the right way. Closing quarters is so important, especially in close games and later in the season, the closer the game. So just want to take advantage of those moments.
Yeah, Shai, you've seen Lou put in the work year after year after year. He's been underappreciated year after year after year. What does it mean to you to see him finally get all defense first team?
Yeah, so happy for him. Nothing's made me happier this year in terms of our team. Like, Lou's been what he's been this year, his whole career, and for him to like finally get the recognition that he deserves is very special. And it's more impressive that like he just stuck with it throughout not getting it and just doing what's better for the team. He like diminished his role a couple years ago to do what's better for the team. Like he's just such a team first guy and puts that above all. To see him finally get some individual recognition for his hard work is very special.
Shai, how hard is it? I know you take one game at a time, but these games are coming fast and furious right now. How hard is it to not look at it and go, we're 6 wins from an NBA title?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Like all season long, we've like got into a habit and built like the muscle of just like focusing on the next game and worrying about what's in front of us. And it's no different in this situation. We're aware of where we are in the season. But we'd be doing ourselves a disservice if we kind of veer from what got us here, and that's what we prioritize.
Shai, you once mentioned my whole life is consistent. When you think about the younger teenage Shai, how proud of you are of that younger Shai that got you to that point of hoisting up the trophy tonight?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm glad he never gave up. I'm glad he listened to the right people, and I'm glad for those people giving me that advice that they did throughout the years. They know who they are, and I'm very appreciative.
This is the ninth 30-point game of the postseason for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, tied for the second most in a single postseason in Thunder history, and they do have plenty of runway for him to add to that. The only player with more. Durant had 11 back in 2014. Given the pace he's on, he should have that by next week. Brian Windhorst joins us now. We've talked a lot throughout this program about the Thunder defense. What are you hearing about who the difference maker is, or one particular person that should have a spotlight and given credit?
So Lou Dort is first team all defense. Jalen Williams is second team all defense. I wasn't allowed to vote for Chet Holmgren and Alex Caruso because they didn't play 65 games, but I would have if I could have. And in all honesty, there have been times this year where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been taken off the court defensively because Cason Wallace is their fifth best defender. Not that that would happen any other place, but that is the case for this roster. So they are like the Kraken on defense. They are huge, they are massive, and they've got a bunch of tentacles. And they completely have frustrated teams all year, and they definitely frustrated the Wolves in these couple of games. Julius Randle has been taken out of this by their defense. He's used to bullying everybody. He can't do it. He's basically been ineffective the last quarter and a half. He got benched in the fourth quarter tonight. Ant Edwards is frustrated. They're frustrated by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because he draws all these fouls. It's a very difficult team mentally to play against, especially when they're playing well as they have these first two games.
You mentioned Randall, 2 of 11 and a DNP in the fourth. Now, they were down significantly, and so on some level, maybe you sit on dry powder and you save it for when you go home. Or maybe Finchie feels like, I don't know, the guy can't do it tonight, and maybe this team's a really bad matchup. What conversation is there surrounding that topic?
Well, he was asked about it after the game, and he's just like, I thought Naz Reid made more sense. And I just feel the frustration going. And you saw Randall kind of get out of his game a little bit. He sort of bowled over a guy and was getting, in offensive fouls. And so I think that that's something that he felt maybe he wasn't engaged enough. But in the last series, Scott, he averaged 25, 7, and 7. Okay,
right.
That's LeBron James numbers. And so he is a vital part of what they need to do offensively, and he's just not getting it done. I mean, there's just no space for him to move there. And he's not able to get to his spots. They're just so good defensively, and it's boring to talk about. It's not as entertaining to watch. It was way more fun as a consumer to watch the game last night. But what's actually happening here is more impressive because of the way they're able to just take a really good team out of their game.
The conversations that Brian and I have in commercial break often become things that you hear at home, and it's about to, because I asked you if there's similarities to Boston, who last year won so many games during the regular season by double digits, and it just carried on to the postseason, and at the end of it, you go, well, this is just what they are. And you said there are still some small concerns, some small habits that OKC has that prevent you from just rubber stamping it at this point. What are those?
So when they get slowed down and they have to play straight half-court offense, which means they can't get to their turnovers and get their high-tempo offense, they are not as effective. There are moments where they have difficulty getting a second score beyond Shai, and there are moments when Shai doesn't get to the line 15 times. So tonight, it was total paint by numbers. They were very strong defensively. Shai got to the line. He got to his mid-range. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams both got over 20 points. They win by double digits, which they have done 60 times this year. That's just going to happen a certain number of times. But if you can not turn the ball over against them, if you can hit your threes, which is probably what Minnesota is going to be thinking about on the flight back tonight. At some point, they're going to hit their threes because the first two games they didn't. You hit your threes, and then you get them into the half court, because it's a strange thing that happened. They've spent so much time this season ahead by double digits. They had the greatest margin of victory in the history of the league. They beat other teams by more points, that they really didn't spend a lot of time getting their practice in on close games. And that was where they were vulnerable. Having said that, when they came back and won Game 5 against the Nuggets in the last round, which may end up being the most important moment in this NBA season. We'll see. We still have 3-4 weeks left to decide that. When they were down by 9 points on this court in Game 5, and they came back and won that might have broken the dam. But if you're going to play them, you have to keep it close and try to win it in the end and have them get a little tight, because they do have a tendency to get a little tight in the half-court offense at the end of games.
I'm going to squeeze in a quick one because I'm curious how you'd frame it. I asked Michael Malone to describe the whistle that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets. He said favorable. You mentioned the frustration from Minnesota. How would you frame it, Brian?
It's driving Jaden McDaniels absolutely insane, because Shai is so good. As soon as he feels your hand on him, he will make a maneuver to get it. And Jaden McDaniels is a great defender, and it drives him crazy because you can't give him an inch. If you give him an inch, he will literally take a yard. And, Jalen Brunson is good this way too. Like Jalen Brunson, he knows all the dark arts. And by the way, including his braids. Jalen Brunson's braids, so that when he throws his head, that they go back. Shai has all that stuff. But the thing about it is, they are technically fouls most of the time. Yes, you can cherry pick moments where he literally takes a dive, but if you put your hand on his back, he can feel it. If you put your foot out in front of his, he knows. He'll put his foot out. And you have a good defender like Jaden McDaniels, who's so good against so many people. Shai has brought him to his knees the entire season. He crushed him in the regular season. He's crushed him in this series, and it's driving them crazy. It's why Ant threw the ball at him. It's why, if you saw McDaniels tonight, he was frustrated.
Well, yeah, he shoved him.
He's just so good at it. But it's not, you got a flagrant on him. It's just really savvy play. And yes, there's some percentage where, it is a favorable whistle, but some of it is just mastery.
Understood. That's well framed, and that's why I asked you the question. Brian,
what's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we notice that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.